Hello everyone, this is Carlo and welcome to this webinar focused on the thigh muscles and the knee joint. I'm going to disable your microphones to avoid audio interferences. Let me do now here, okay. And if you have any question during the webinar, please write in the chat box. So after my presentation, I will answer all questions. The goal of this webinar is not to hold a lecture on the anatomy or on the pathology of the limb muscles and the joint of the knee. Instead, I would like to provide you with some example on how to take advantage of tool, feature, and contents of table to better show, teach, or explain this region of the body. Therefore, I apologize if I will make or if I will be imprecise on some aspects of the anatomy or on the pathology. Let's start with the gross anatomy of Victor. I already opened the body of Victor. How I did this, I pressed on the home icon to have the main menu, and then gross anatomy to select the Asian male full body. This is Victor. We call this body Victor. So the region that I want to explore is this. I can zoom in and move the body to have a better visualization on this region of the body. And the first thing that I can do is use this upper slider bar to move the slider bar to the left and have the visualization mainly of the muscles. And the first thing that I would like to show you is how we can create a good visualization to better explain the extensors of the knee. So as you know, the extensor are four muscles. We have the vastus medialis, the rectus femoris, the vastus lateralis, and then there is also the vastus intermedius. But now I can't show you because it's under the other, so it's covered by the other tissue, the other muscles. I would like to highlight these three muscles. So we can start with these by double-clicking on this structure, and then I can press on this icon to select one color, like the yellow one. If I press on these muscles, then I will have this menu that is the action menu changing and uploaded to this structure. So as you can see, rectus femoris muscles is written also here on the top of this dialog. And now I can change the color to have the green for this muscle. If I press on the vastus lateralis, I can select another color like the blue. So in this way, I selected and I highlighted these three muscles, four of the extensors, and I can see and I can appreciate that the vastus lateralis is going also in the rear part, not only on this front part. Now I would like to reach the missing one, the fourth muscle. How I can do this? I can select the rectus femoris to then press on this icon. Instead of double clicking on this, I can press this icon to activate my action menu. And if I press on this icon, I can activate the transparency. In this way, if I then press on the muscle that is the vastus intermedius, I can select the vastus intermedius. I have the profile of this muscle, and I can select a different color in a way to have also this muscle highlighted. So if I rotate, I can still visualize the green that was the rectus femoris, and then I can see the other three muscles. So in this way, I have all the four muscles that are the extensor of the knee. I can save this type of visualization, so I can press on the preset icon, then on this icon to then select or check which is the number that can be used for my new preset. So for example, number 6, I have to press on plus, then select number 6, and then the green tick, to then have my preset saved over there. Now I would like to focalize my attention to the rear part of the thigh, so for the flexors. But I would like to approach in a different way. How I can do this? We can take advantage from the preset that Anatom has already created, and we can reach from this dialog pressing on this icon, the folder icon. In this way, I will have this section, and if I press on Anatom has created, I will have the list of the systems that are available with different or multiple presets already created. In this case, I'm interested in muscular. So then, scrolling down, you can see different presets already created. And if I go to this level, I can see that there is a knee extensor and also knee flexor. For example, I can check if this knee extensor preset is better than what I created. So let's open this. As you can see, in this case, we have only the bone and only the 4 muscles that are the flexors. So it's slightly different from my preset that I previously created, but can be useful and can be complementary to the one that we created before. But the goal was to create something for the flexors. So I can open knee flexors. And here, what I would like to do is to customize this preset that is already made by Anatomage to have my personal preset. The first thing that I would like to advise you is to pay attention when you have this annotation and where the line is pointing. For example, for sartorius muscle, it seems that the line is pointing to these light blue muscles. But this is not real. This is not true. If I turn a little bit, I can start to see that this line is pointing to this muscle. If I would like to have the confirmation that this purple, light purple muscle is the sartorius, I can press on the name on the annotation and have this structure highlighted. The same can be done for the others. In this case, I would like to simplify the visualization, removing on the muscle that are not the flexors. So how we can do this? I can press on the Explore tool, and then with the first icon, I can then select and remove each muscle. So when I press on a muscle, I can remove the muscle, and I have the name of the muscle that I'm removing. Then we can rotate a little bit more. We can rotate also this. So we can save this type of visualization that is only with the flexors. And in this case, maybe I prefer to put in transparency the femur to better see the sartorius muscle. How I can do this? I can just double click on the sartorius, on the femur, and then I can press on this icon to put in transparency, and I can better visualize the sartorius. As you can see, the sartorius, which is the longest muscles that we have in our body, is starting from the lateral pelvis, part of the pelvis, and it goes to the medial part of the tibia. So it's like a snake that is surrounding the thigh. And arrive just below the knee joint. Now I can save this type of visualization if I want, as we did before. So pressing this icon, the preset icon, then this one, and let me check, I can use number 7, so pressing plus, selecting number 7, and then green tick to save and have this. In this way, if I jump to number 6, I can immediately visualize the extensor preset, and then I can quickly pass to the extensors one. So remember that preset can be created to then save a lot of time instead of create each time your preset. Okay, another thing that I would like to show you is how you can visualize the body or the, let's say, knee joint in this case with a different approach, 3D plus 2D. So let me move to another preset, the one that we created before, or that is something that we had before. Then using this icon, that is the layout icon, I can press on this icon to have 2D plus 3D visualization together. I can zoom out a little bit this, zoom more out, okay. And here I have the 2D visualization of the body. As you can see here, there is a line which is actually a rectangle that is indicating the plane, the level of this image. One thing that I advise you to pay attention is the orientation of this 2D image. As you can see here, we have the left and here we have the right. If I press on a structure on the 2D, I will have the structure highlighted in the 2D as well as in the 3D. But here we have the structure that seems to be on the left, but is actually the right side, as you can see. If I would like to have the confirmation, I can select another structure in the 3D, and then I will have this highlighted in the 2D on the proper left side. So when I select a structure in the 2D, then I can, of course, zoom in. Let me zoom in. And then if I use the slider bar, I can see that the line, the borderline of the structure is following the structure during my scrolling. So it's good to have also the idea of how the shape of this structure is changing along this scrolling. And if I press on the femur, I will have the femur highlighted here in the 3D. So the connection between these two types of visualization is in both directions. I can select something in the 3D to have highlight in the 2D. I can select something 2D to have highlight in the 3D. Another advice that I would like to give you is if you zoom too much here, for example, to investigate more around the knee, it's better to pass to the high resolution dataset, because in the high resolution regional anatomy dataset, we have the resolution higher than what you can find in the gross anatomy. So we can select, in this case, the knee, the male of this body. I already opened, so let me just switch to this visualization. Okay. Here we are. So in this case, we have 3D on the left of the screen and 2D. As you can see on the 2D, we have really high resolution. And if I scroll, for example, to the level of the tibia, I can also appreciate not only the border that is more precise on the tibia, but also the inner part. I can appreciate different colors. And if I scroll up to the femur, I can start to see the small or thin layer of the cartilage that are on this side, but also on this other side. So when you want to visualize with more details or region or some structure, some organs, it's always better to go to the high resolution regional anatomy. Here we have the 2D that is the axial view, but I can switch this to the sagittal, touching this icon. And then if I press on this, I will have the the sagittal view. I can rotate this 90 degrees, and I can rotate also this 90 degrees. And as you can see here, the 3D has this line. Let me, okay. I can switch to the frontal coronal view, as well as we did before. Let me move someone because I have some audio interferences. Okay, please leave your microphone off. Thank you. So you can have always the connection between the 3D with your 2D visualization. Now I would like to show you a preset that I created to better show the structure that are linking the femur and the tibia bones. So let me move here, and I can scroll and select this is my preset that I want to show you. So in this case, I created this type of preset in which I highlighted with different colors the ligaments and also the menisci. How I created this, let's try to do together. So I can go back to another preset that is maybe, we can start from this. I can rotate my volume, and here we are. The first thing that I would like to do is to put in transparency the bones, but only the bones, not also the ligaments. So how I can do this? I can select the able icon. Then if I select the skeletal and thigh and leg bones, I have to select this circle, the multicolored circle, to then select the transparency icon. And now, as you can see, we have the bones in transparency. Now I would like to make the ligaments with some colors. So we can start with the cruciate ligament. We're clicking on this to have the action menu, and I can select the yellow, for example. Then I can put these other ligaments with purple. This one I would like to put, this is the meniscus in green, and this in red, for example. And then the collateral ligaments we can do with light blue and blue for this one. So as you can see, I created the preset quickly. And here I can also appreciate how the menisci are placed between these two bones and how the two cruciate are incruciated between each other, or how they are connected to the tibia or to the femur. Another thing that you can do is open the 2D as we did before to visualize the menisci. And here we can see the menisci with the color, the proper color. And if I rotate this in this way, and I can rotate in this way, I can then have this similar visualization, but in this case we have the real color. So it's something that can help to better understand this type of image. Another approach that I would like to show you is the simulation of the arthroscopy, how we can do this. So let me do this. No, I prefer to have this preset in which we have some muscle and also the capsule of the knee. And then I had to select the layout icon, then the fly-through icon, which is this one. And as you can see here, I have to press on the plus. My advice is select the tibia to have this profile, and then if you press plus, you can select a point that will be the target or the point that will gives you the indication for the pathway that you will have during the navigation inside the knee. So with the fly through, we can scroll and move inside the knee. As you can see now, we are here inside the capsule, and we can rotate our visualization 360 degrees in any direction. And if I press on this meniscus, I will have the name of the meniscus here, and I have highlighted the structure also in the 3D. Or if I rotate a little bit more, I can touch the cruciate, which is the anterior cruciate ligament, or I can select the other meniscus. again, I can select the femur as well and have the profile over there in the 3D. Another thing that you can do is to make a correlation or a link between the gross anatomy and the microanatomy. How we can do this? I can select from the layout icon, this icon, which is the icon of the histology. If I press on this, and then I can press on a muscle tissue, I will have multiple examples of muscles. I can scroll with this arrow, and I can select one of these image. And for example, in this case, we have also some letters and arrows. So if I press on the eye icon, I will have the explanation of the meaning of these letters and arrows. I can select as well as before a bone tissue, and I will have examples of bone in this case. And in this one has as well as before some indication. If I press on the eye, I will have the description of this indication. Another thing that you can do is to use the 3D of the cadaver data with or to compare with another type of data, which is the cross-section data. So if I press on this icon, I will have again some example that I can select. And I want to open this one, which is the knee that is partially dissected. And in this case, the color are more similar to the cross-section, to the dissection that maybe your student can have the access to do, the possibility to do. In this case, we have also a knee with a prosthesis, so there is the implant that can be visualized here. To better visualize or to better understand the structure, we can use the eye icon to then have this menu, annotation regions, and selecting this tick, I will have all the structure highlighted with also the name if I want. If I zoom out. Another thing that I would like to show you is another type of data that you can use for this region of the body. The data are from the case library. So let me minimize this section and I can open this one. So we can go to the case library here. And if you select a region, then you can select the lower limb and foot region. And I would like to open the case that is the number 184. I remember this number because it's the ID number for this case. If I double click, I open this data. This is a CT scan. It's a really good case because it can show multiple things and can be used to show hard tissue as well as soft tissues because it has the contrast agent. So let's start with the hard tissue. In this case, we have two prostheses to both knee. We can start to see something here. I would like to show you in a better way. We can use the X-ray simulation, and then adjusting the brightness with this slider bar, we can better visualize the profile of the bones and the profile also of the prosthesis. So here you can appreciate, for example, that in this component, the femur component of this prosthesis, there is the stem instead on the right side there isn't, or the stem inside the tibia, the right tibia, is shorter than the left one. And if you look at this, you can start to see also the cement that is surrounding the stems and is inside the bone. If I would like to investigate more the cement, I can use another filter, which is transparent hard tissues, and I can visualize in a better way this and how it's surrounding these structures. As I told you before, we can also visualize in a really good way soft tissue in this case, even if it's a CT scan. I can always use the able icon to then select one of the filters from the ultra quality list. So I can select this one, the uniform one. And here we have a more photorealistic visualization in terms of colors and also details, because this filter can visualize also the smallest blood vessels. If I gradually add more soft tissue, moving to the right, I can start to see more blood vessels, and I can also appreciate the orientation of the fiber of the muscle that are different for each structure, for each muscle. Or the other thing that I can appreciate is that in the left side, left leg, left limb, there is no muscle for the gastrocnemius if you compare to the right side. This is because of the missing foot and no stimulus from this part of the body. Now I would like to show you another case. This case is an MRI. How I can select this? I select again region, tab, then leg and foot, and then I can filter all the cases with this tag. So if I select MRI, I will have only the MRI, and then we can open the knee, the number 9. So with the MRI, you can better visualize the soft tissue, and you can't visualize as well as before the hard tissue. In this data, in this scan, you can see patella here, the femur component, and the tibia part over there. So I would like to make a plain cut, so I can use the clipping tool from this icon, then I can trace a line, and I can remove this part. In this way, I can see the inner part of the knee, and if I adjust this visualization, I can start to see more in detail the blood vessels and also some soft tissues. If I scroll this slider bar, I can start to see the profile of the condyle of the femur and the profile of the tibia. And we can use also another color, for example, transparent A filter, to have this type of visualization. Then you can start to see also some soft tissue in this area around all the bones of the knee. The last case that I would like to show you is a comparison case. So again, in case library, we can switch to other tab and then select comparison. In this comparison section, you can scroll down, there are multiple cases. And as you can see, at a certain point here, there is knee tibia fracture or knee joint. I want to open this one. In this case, we have a 3 CT scan to compare each to the other one. So let me reduce the brightness to have a similar visualization to each of the 3 cases. And here we have a pathology. So there is a fracture in the tibia that is visible here. And there is this plate to heal this fracture. In this other case, we have again a fracture to the tibia, but with a different orientation. Starting from here is going backward and going all around this part of the tibia. I can use the filter that we used before, transparent hard tissue, to better visualize this fracture, the line of the fracture here, and then I can rotate to better see this. So I can understand that this component of the tibia is almost completely separated by the other side. And this instead is something that can be used for comparison, because this is the physiological situation, a normal case. With this filter, we can also appreciate something else with this case. And these are the screws that are fixing the plate to then fix the plate to the bones. There is also another screw here in the femur. Okay, thank you. I finished my presentation.